the sister of the former Minister of Power and All Progressives Congress 2027 governorship aspirant in Oyo State, Bayo Adelabu, and her twin children have been kidnapped in Ibadan, the state's capital. Hi, welcome to What's Happening. These are our top 10 stories countdown today. At number 10, at least 21 people were killed when a fire ripped through a hotel in New Delhi on Wednesday, police said, in one of the deadliest blazes in the Indian capital in recent years. Building fires are common in India due to a lack of firefighting equipment and routine disregard for safety regulations. The fire broke out in the morning at Flourish Stay, a bed and breakfast in a congested neighborhood in the south of the city, Delhi police said in a statement. At number 9, Iran's World Cup squad will arrive early on Sunday in Mexico, where they will be based for the duration of the global football tournament. A team statement said Wednesday, the Iran players who have been at the training camp in the southern Turkish resort of Antalya since May 18th are still waiting for their US visas. The 2026 World Cup, which is being jointly hosted by the United States, Mexico, and Canada, runs from June 11th to July 19th. Iran's Team Melli has been drawn in Group G and will play New Zealand and Belgium in Los Angeles on June 15th and 21st, followed by a game against Egypt in Seattle on June 26th. At number 8, the ruling All Progressives Congress on Wednesday suffered fresh defections in the House of Representatives as two lawmakers formally announced their departure from the party, underscoring the intensifying political realignment ahead of 2027 general elections. The development came barely 24 hours after the National Assembly resumed plenary following a salo recess, during which a number of political actors across the country have been engaged in consultations, coalition talks, and strategic repositioning ahead of the next electoral cycle. At Wednesday's sitting, the member representing Jamare Itas Gadwal Federal Constituency of Bauchi State, Rabilu Bala, formally defected from the APC to the People's Redemption Party. At number 7, as part of efforts to strengthen food security and drive the agricultural revolution component of the Arise agenda, the Akwa Ibom State government has launched a new generation of high-yielding, high-starch cassava varieties for farmers across the state. The launch took place at the Assured Model Farm in Ikot, Akpan, Esien, Oruk, Anam local government area and featured the unveiling of improved cassava varieties including Biggie, Baba 70, Renewed Hope, and Game Changer. The initiative was organized by Assured Model Farm in collaboration with the Akwa Ibom State Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, and the National Root Core Research Institutes. At number 6, a cholera outbreak in Borno State has claimed 39 lives within the last 24 hours, with 272 new cases recorded across 36 wards in 8 local government areas of the state. The incident manager of the Public Emergency Operations Center, Jacob Audu, disclosed this in Maiduguri, the state's capital, while urging residents to take precautionary measures to prevent further spread of the disease. Audu said 138 communities across the affected local government areas are currently battling the outbreak, adding that the government has introduced robust measures to contain the situation. Speaking to journalists on Tuesday, the permanent secretary of the Borno Ministry of Health and Human Services, Shetima Maina, said the state government had reactivated 2 emergency response centers to provide treatment for infected persons across the affected local government areas. At number 5, residents of Eda Oniyo in Ilejemeje local government area of Ekiti State on Wednesday staged a protest over the continued captivity of 16 worshippers abducted by gunmen despite a payment of 10.5 million naira ransom. The protesters, comprising community leaders, women, youth, relatives, and friends of the victims, appealed to the federal government, Ekiti State government, and security agencies to intensify efforts to secure the release of the abductees. The victims were kidnapped on April 28 during an evening service at a Christ Apostolic Church in Eda Oniyo when gunmen invaded the church and killed the presiding pastor. According to residents, the kidnappers initially demanded 1 billion naira ransom, later reducing it to 150 million naira and subsequently 50 million naira. At number 4, Nigerian pilgrims who participated in the 2026 Hajj will begin their journey back to the country on Wednesday, starting with pilgrims from Nasarawa State. An update by the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria on Wednesday noted that Max Air Flight NGL 266 47, departed Jeddah for Abuja at 09:27 hours with 560 Nasarawa pilgrims, a Saudi-designated Nigerian Hajj carrier. Flyers also noted that the return airlift will be followed by pilgrims from Ogun and Kebbi states on June 4th. In a statement, the airline said the inbound operations would be conducted using 6 A330 wide-body aircraft deployed for the exercise to ensure efficient transportation of pilgrims back to Nigeria. At number 3, the Nigeria Police Force Yobe State Command has uncovered an illegal firearms fabrication factory in Pottiscombe, Yobe State, and arrested 7 suspects. The police describing it as one of the significant breakthroughs. The command spokesman, SP Dungus Abdul Karim, in a statement said the arrest was part of the renewed strategies of the Commissioner of Police aimed at combating crime and criminality across the state. Abdul Karim added that fabricated pistols, 24 muzzle pipes, 9 gun butts, 4 unserviceable Dane guns, 1 filling machine, and 1 sharp cutlass were recovered. At number 2, the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Wednesday sentenced 4 members of the Al-Shahab terrorist group to death by hanging for their involvement in the June 5, 2022 attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owo, Ondo State, which left more than 40 worshippers dead and over 100 others injured. The trial judge, Justice Emeka Nwete, made the declaration after convicting Idris Abdulmalik Omieza, 25, Al-Kazim Idris, 20, Jamil Abdulmalik, 26, and Abdul Halim Idris, 25, on a 9-count terrorism charge filed by the Department of State Services on behalf of the federal government. The court, however, discharged and acquitted the 5th defendant, Momo Otuho Abubakar, 47, after finding insufficient evidence linking him to the terrorist attack. At number 1, the sister of the former Minister of Power and All Progressives Congress 2027 governorship aspirant in Oyo State, Bayo Adelabu, and her twin children had been kidnapped in Ibadan, the state's capital. An eyewitness told Punch online that the incident occurred on Wednesday in the challenge area of Ibadan Southwest local government area of the state. Confirming the incident in a statement, one of the media aides to Adelabu, Femi Awogboro, said the family of Adebayo Adelabu, former Minister of Power and leading governorship aspirant of APC in Oyo State, wishes to formally confirm the unfortunate kidnapping of his younger sister, Olaide Busayo Adegoke, John Paul, alongside her twin sons, Peter and Paul, in the early hours of Wednesday, June 3rd, 2026. That's all for today. See you next time on What's Happening.